As you all know, this channel is about urbanism and infrastructure in New York City. Many times I watch other people's content, other content creator videos to help inform myself and get ideas on the angle I want to take for certain topics. In any case, this weekend I watched John Oliver's video on traffic stops. Multiple urbanists online were saying how disappointed they were by John Oliver's video on traffic stops. And, everyone in the urbanist community seemed in agreement with them. So I didn't know what I was expecting to get from watching John Oliver's video on traffic stops. I think I just wanted to see what the objections to the video were and if they were warranted. And I was expecting to similarly be disappointed by John Oliver's take. Now, instead, well, I came away from it fully in agreement with the main idea in John Oliver's video on traffic stops to stop prioritizing stopping people for non-safety related infractions like a broken tail light, a broken front light or something, or, some cosmetic damage to the car. To me, that's not a big, that doesn't rise to the level of a traffic stop. And the video really hit home for me about 2 minutes in, and is partly what solidified my interest in living in a mostly car-free urbanist lifestyle safely. Seeing the array of Black people come out and say that they fear for their life and safety every time they get into a car just really hit home for me. And these people were not worried because they were worried about being in a car crash. No, they were not. These people were afraid because they were worried that they will be stopped and on the hook for hundreds of dollars in cash for the smallest of infractions if the taillight was the wrong color or they made an allegedly awkward turn. If Black people dare ask questions about why they were stopped, then everyone automatically assumes that they deserve to get murdered by United States and state and local law enforcement. And this is the real problem for me. So for many people like myself, traffic stops are one of the main reasons why I don't like to drive. Police finding a reason to stop you. They say they can find any reason to stop you within 5 minutes if they want to. Especially if you're Black. And then the cost of just owning a car in general, like it's negative value going like this, negative. Those are two very good reasons for living in New York City, living in a car-free or car-light area, or a place like New York where you absolutely 100% do not need a car. People live their whole life without ever having to learn how to drive in New York City. I had a car when I was 16, but as a Black man and as a person who's been locked up because they couldn't afford to pay for the tickets, all that. Look, if Black people can't pay for a lot of these, what I consider to be bogus tickets, they find themselves in and out of the court system for years at a time because they can't make the payment. Traffic stops are the reason why on my more recent trips to Florida and Texas, I opted not to drive, even though I paid for a rental car. I could just simply avoid the issue of traffic stops altogether simply by not driving. I was lucky to be traveling with other people who were not Black. And, John Oliver's video makes me remember back to being a college student at SMU in Dallas, Texas, and getting stopped all the time. When I was even younger, I somehow managed to rack up 9 tickets in a single day. Even though I am not a particularly aggressive driver, I can sometimes be risk averse, especially when driving. Once while coming back from the round at a gay bar and club in Dallas, Texas, I was traveling on Oakland. I remember being stopped by the police officer. The police officer asked me, "Do you know why I stopped you?" I replied, "No." The officer said that he stopped me because I was doing 38 in a 35-mile-an-hour zone. Now, I was a little bit angry for being stopped for no reason, and I told him in a snarky way, well, my speedometer says I was doing 35 miles an hour in a 35-mile-an-hour zone. And actually, I was going between 30 and 35 miles an hour. One, because I already saw the police officer, and two, they have a reputation for abusing their power in that neighborhood already. So I was already prepared for it. Like, I was like, oh, I'm not going to go. I'm going to go like 33. I'm not even going to go fully 35. So he ran my license plate and eventually let me go, but I remember feeling terrified of getting the ticket I had no money to pay for, or going to jail, or getting my car impounded, or worse. I thought for sure I was either going to be further financially in the hole or be without a car in Dallas, Texas, which is like being snuffed out economically, as there is no reliable public transportation or walkability or bikeability in Dallas, Texas. So to bring this all back to urbanism and the urbanist community, the disdain for John Oliver's traffic stop video made me think some of us really need to get more in touch with all facets of the wider Black and Brown communities on many of these issues, and really discuss urbanist ideals and topics with them, with a posture towards learning from them some of the flaws in the urbanist movement, and bringing Black and Brown communities fully on board the same way Black people have been brought on board for other issues like healthcare and union membership. The Black community should be a natural constituency for the urbanist movement, but somehow they're not. You often find people in the Black community NIMBYing apartment construction and bike lanes with the same people who would have them evicted and arrested for the crime of being Black. We all want to live a high quality of life that puts people first, regardless of the cultural background and income levels of the community. Now, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. I'm very curious to hear what people think. And, we should further the discussion and bring in more brown and Black voices. Hell, I want all the voices. There's room for everybody. There's room for everybody in the urbanist community. And I think urbanism works best when all of the communities are included. I understand you have to start from somewhere, but it's time for us to bring in the Black and Brown community and in a real holistic way and take our movement even further. All right. Like and subscribe. Let me know what you think down in the comments, all that. And let's make it a great day.